Kelly O'Neill McKay, and I'm currently living in Berlin, Germany as a 26-year-old female. I decided to move to Berlin because my long-term partner decided to move to Berlin. So I went with her once I decided to move and touch down. It was more of it was a really long time coming because of the pandemic. So I was not able to travel for 8 or almost 9 months. So getting here in the first place was very a sigh of relief, but also at the same time it was game time because it was suddenly very real. Nothing made sense anymore. The system was completely different. The language was completely different.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to do this, who wants to move to Europe and uproot their lives and just go for it? What advice would you give to them?
Probably have a lot of savings, because unless you have a job lined up, it's going to cost you a lot of money of waiting around for a visa appointment, / finding a place to live and not being able to work for a while because you can't work and save your visa. Then I would also tell them to do plenty of motherfucking research, because I did so much research and I still felt somewhat uneducated. And then if you're moving to a country that you don't speak the national language, you should probably learn. Because even if they say, you don't need to learn, everyone always said that to me, when I said I was moving to Berlin and when I was researching, people were always saying on forums and stuff don't worry, it's not a big deal, you don't have to learn the language. That's such a lie. You need to learn the language. That's what companies that are sending you letters, the government, anything that's important, coronavirus information, all these things are all put out in German. So, having a work visa, they'll send me a letter or I'll get something from my insurance company or something, and I won't be able to read the letter. So that, those little things that I took, obviously, we all take for granted in our own home countries where we speak the language. What a joy to be able to open up a letter from your bank and actually know what it says. Meanwhile, I'm over here with Google Translate on my phone, just holding it because it has a cool camera setting, so I'm holding it over everything that I don't know. We have to learn it overnight, granted, but at least I'll have a bit of a head start. That's what I wish I would have done. It's just known German better before I arrived. But it didn't work out that way. Yeah. So I can speak to where I am, and I like the diversity of the place. I'm friends with so many different people. I'm friends with different Germans, some people from South Korea. I'm friends with people from Australia, New Zealand, so many different places that I had never actually personally known people from those places. And now I feel I'm more in touch with just the colors of the world and the colors of the people in the world and the ideas of those people and the dreams and the wants and the needs and how closely aligned we all are, but also how our culture can differentiate us from one another. And yeah, I think that's been really beautiful. I think it's been really beautiful to be able to walk down the street and be sandwiched between a rich man and a poor man, or a rich woman and a poor woman, from completely different backgrounds who have completely different ideas of what success looks like. Using public transport is really cool. Having the food's really cheap and really well sourced and good. It's really good. I never had a good falafel until I came here. The falafel here is so good.